the box jack.
Oh, it does. Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm so happy to see you guys. These guys are also here, but I'm mostly happy to see you over there on the other side of the internet, the nice, cozy corner of the internet that we have here at Fandom Entertainment on SJU with my favorite guys.
Hi.
My dudes.
Yeah.
What's up, my dude? Spencer Gilbert.
We're happy to see you, Roth.
Joe Starr.
Hey, Roth.
Dan Murrell.
Hello.
Dan and I saw The Joker last night, which we're going to talk about today. A little bit. We're going to review it later today. We're going to talk about the chance to win an Oscar.
The road.
Ooh, the road
to gold.
Oscar for The Joker and some other movies. That's not all. We're going to decide about them aliens at Area 51. We have an important alien update for you where Dan's going to express some more feelings about Saved by the Bell, is my understanding.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do a lot of things today.
Feel things on camera, Dan.
Feel things, Dan!
I feel very deeply about Saved by the Bell, and I'm happy that it's my new sequest on this show.
I feel very deeply about BSG, but we'll talk about that too. Stick with us. I was here yesterday in a mask. If you did not see that, you will be seeing some more of said mask in the future. It is appropriately weird. Talking about, we're going to be at New York Comic-Con next 2 weeks. Anyway,
2 weeks.
October the 5th.
Can I try some of your wine?
Yes, it's whiskey, but enjoy yourself. We're gonna be at New York. I'm just gonna talk. It's kombucha. It's wild tonic.
Oh, that's like a foot.
It's like that's funky. This is actually, of all of the kombuchas, this is very sweet. It's blackberry mint, and it's made with real honey
and toe jam.
No,
see, most people make black cherry and like blackberry flavors just taste like cough syrup. So now it's like foot cough syrup. No, I don't want to smell your foot Robitussin.
And you guys wonder why I don't do this anymore.
You don't like getting spinning? You got spinning!
All right, well, I'm going to drink my whiskey toe jam and keep talking about how the Joker could win a goddamn Oscar. And I'm trying to tell you that we're going to premiere our documentary on Galaxy Quest in New York Comic-Con on October the 5th, Saturday night. Be there or be square in the link, the description. Ryan is quickly putting in the information, the article, the link to all the information, because I do not remember the name of the room right now. It's like 1A10. Is it 1A10?
We'll get it in there.
Did I nail it?
Some numbers and letters, you'll probably.
So Ryan's going to do that, and the whole time he's going to be watching out for the hashtag on the people that are right now people at Area 51. We'll be bringing important...
And watching SJU?
It's all happening at one time.
Wow.
They're always watching.
At least one.
Yeah.
I bet our Venn diagram somehow has intersected with at least one.
I guarantee you what happened was like the bunker door was opening and like the silhouette of a gray woman starting to step out, but then he was like, Ross on? And like he looked and he missed it.
By the way,
missed it.
I meant there's a hashtag for the event at Area 51. However, if you are watching SJU and at Area 51 right now,
please call
I will personally pay for you to go to New York. I was going to say a thing that's not true. I'm not going to do that. I can't afford to do that.
How can you watch when you're Naruto running? I guess if everybody watches SJU and then holds it back for the partner behind
and then
them.
it's like
you have a thing on a hat and your phone's on it.
They can prove it. If you are at Area 51 right now, and you're watching SJU, and you're on Twitter, which you probably are, tweet us right now a picture of you at Area 51 doing your best Naruto run as proof, because anyone can just grab a picture and send it to us. It has to be specific.
It's specific. We have to see you at.
I need to know if there's anyone that's actually at Area 51 that can prove that they're watching the show
right now while they're seeing the aliens anyway. If they're watching SJU, that much we know.
I have columns open on the tweet deck.
Okay.
All right, great.
The Area 51 situation live. And
wow.
It looks like you're supporting the Flash.
It does.
And if you're there, Dan will do any rant of your request, barring a few different things, barring probably 5 to 200 things that are off the
as
table.
He fights Bronze Tiger.
Yeah.
You guys, if I don't start talking about the Joker, we're going to have a riot.
Uh-oh.
Let me drink my feet.
My foot wine.
My foot wine.
Oh, that's good foot.
You have been missed.
Yeah, those toes. Could the Joker? Get them feet. Could that Joker win an Oscar? Probably not. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. Reviews and reactions for Todd Phillips' The Joker are coming in, and it's won at a couple of festivals, and this is why we actually have evidence that perhaps this could happen. So it won a Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. Recent winners of the Golden Lion that went on to Oscar glory were Roma for Best Director and The Shape of Water for Best Picture. And 2008, The Wrestler. God, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's so good.
Sometimes I forget that it happened, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You guys should watch The Wrestler. And then Brokeback Mountain, Ang Lee won big after winning the Golden Lion. But not Best Picture. Yeah. But he won.
Yes.
But anyway, see, The Wrestler is, I think, the point we're trying to make with this entire segment. And also that Darren Aronofsky has been the person that is the most close to directing a comic book movie 200 times, including Batman, and then never did. All right, so question is, do we think that The Joker or Jojo Rabbit, which is also sort of racking up awards, are the two top contenders so far out of the gate at this early part of the Oscar race season? And we've seen it and you guys haven't, so it's a little unfair.
I read the script.
Yes.
You've read the script.
Yeah, I know
I've only read hot
sense
takes.
of it. Yeah, you've read hot takes.
Yeah, I only read. I don't even watch movies anymore. I just read think pieces about them.
Cool.
So I think it's going to win and also cancel our country at the same time.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, and the winner is Joker. And then just everything, Canada marches down, Mexico marches up, everything gets caught on fire.
Yeah.
That's when they get us. That's when they rend on
northern
us.
and southern.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's when the Canadians come down in Joker
We're trying to
makeup.
march into Canada. They're not having us.
They won't let us. They built a wall. They won't let us in. I mean, Dan, you're sort of you've seen it, and I feel like you're our strongest tea leaf reader. We have this path that JoJo and Joker are set on. Is it going to win a Golden Globe?
Will it be nominated? That's the first hurdle.
That's your first question to me, is if Joker's going to win a Golden Globe?
Yes. I'm starting at the bottom. I'm going to go Golden Globe,
win
MTV,
an MTV Best Kiss VMA.
Academy Awards.
That's
maybe.
a lock.
Okay.
No, that's a lock.
Best Kiss is a lock.
I think Joaquin Phoenix is a much better
bet.
Okay.
That's almost a lock.
I don't, like I said, we're doing our review later today, so I don't want to go too much into my personal thoughts about the movie, but what I will say is that when you look at movies that win Oscars, they're not generally not deeply cynical, disturbingly
violent.
Very violent. I mean, violent movies have won, but there's usually that bit of like redemption or hope or some spark of joy or anything other than just unrelenting sadness.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like the kind of movie. And I'm not saying this does not relate to my personal thoughts on the quality of the film. It's really just like the tone and tenor of films that tend to break out. Yes, there have been very obviously a movie like Schindler's List is not an upbeat comedy. It is certainly brutal and disturbing, but also it has that sort of spirit of resilience to it that is not so much present.
Yeah.
Pure nihilism does not tend to sweep.
I just don't know. I think it's going to turn off as many people as it engages.
I think it's going to do that certainly with the audience and with the critics, which doesn't bode well for awards love, to your point, because they can't feel like the voters can't feel good about themselves. Like, look at this piece of art that we're honoring that's doing good in the world. You'd have to be like, look at this piece of art that we're honoring that just reflects the darkest corners of the internet's mind.
Yeah.
If the internet was crazy, which it is.
Doesn't it take place in the 70s?
It takes place in the 80s.
Okay.
And in 81, and actually in Gotham, but set for New York. And it really... Well, this is now I'm doing our review.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm not going to do that. Joaquin Phoenix, I think, is a lock to sweep for at least nominations. We haven't seen every Oscar contender come out yet. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit. Unfortunately, I'm desperate to. But Jojo Rabbit, Golden Globe-wise, I bet is a lock for at least a comedy nomination, best comedy.
JoJo seems like it's a little more like what you guys are saying, where it's like it's a piece of art that really hits something relevant, but also we can feel a little bit of hope, feel a little bit of good about it.
I don't know.
At least from the trailers.
Yeah, I haven't
don't know.
seen it.
I only watch trailers now. Trailers.
Yeah,
There's been mixed words on Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah, it's
too,
like
though.
Moonrise Kingdom, but Hitler pops out occasionally.
Yeah, basically.
Which that's what the movie should be called.
Yeah.
There's this other thing too. Is like, we're at the very
Honest
beginning.
title confirmed.
I mean, Sundance at the very beginning of the year, and there's just sort of this gulf, and we're at the beginning of the festival season.
Yeah.
And this thing happens every year where, first of all, people get so ginned up, especially at these early ones like Toronto and Venice, like because they're just getting into prestige season, and so like the first few movies they see, and I'm not saying they're not good, but the first few movies they see, they're just like, this is amazing, best movie of the year, because we're getting into the prestige, we're coming out of the summer box office season, there's not usually those movies, and so it's literally just like, oh yes, but there's so much time. I mean, I've seen Jennifer Lopez been handed the Oscar, and Joaquin Phoenix has been handed the Oscar, and now they're handing Tom Hanks the Oscar. Like it just passes from person to person and film to film because people get so excited because it's time for prestige. There's so much more. There's like $1 Million Baby, when it won Best Picture, no one cared about that movie until Christmas,
and then never
it came
again.
Through and then never again. But yeah, this idea that like we've got our winner is like, no, we do not got our winner. But you can certainly, I think, Joaquin Phoenix for me, it is cemented as a front runner, as a nominee. In acting categories, but
although some people, I think his portrayal will actually be controversial too. I think it's unimpeachable that his acting, but in any event, that's really. I think what we're saying in terms of the pull quote for the Joker is from the internet's asshole, 2 hours of unrelenting sadness. I think that's.
Wow.
I think.
But that says nothing of the film's quality.
It does not.
It's just
that's just facts.
Yeah.
I just did science.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the film's quality was not a matter of discussion.
Right. No, that's for our review, which you can find here on Fandom Entertainment later today. As you can tell, it's going to be real upper.
Yeah. Jojo Rabbit, though. Isn't it weird that we're like, the Hitler movie looks hilarious, though?
Yeah, that
this thing on the Joker is a straight up hardcore nihilistic bummer, but that Hitler movie.
What world are we living in? Yeah, that Hitler movie's a comedy, but Joker's a real downer.
Damn, it's a downer. The comic book movie. That'll just make you want to commit seppuku.
Wow. Yeah, but yeah, it's the early festival season. There's always somebody. Remember when Star is Born debuted at Venice last year, and it was just like, it's going to win Best Picture, and Bradley Cooper's going to win Best Actor, and Lady Gaga's going to win Best Actor. Put it in the bank. Put it in the bank. We got our winners.
I know who you're doing.
And then, am I?
Yeah,
I'm not doing anyone in particular.
You're not doing a bit.
I'm not doing a bit. No, I'm just literally like, that was the like after Venice. It was just like, it got a 15-minute standing ovation. It's the winner. It's the winner. Game's over. No one else needs to play. And it didn't win any of those things.
I want to talk about these. Can we talk about ovations for a minute? Because that's always like a weird headline at festivals where they're like, it received a 24-minute standing ovation.
That seems insane to me. You guys have been to the festivals. Are they doing curtain calls? Are they coming out and bowing? Because applauding for 8 minutes is an insane amount of time.
It's like a weird European thing.
So
Europe.
At Sundance in particular, you have to equate every score and feeling out of Sundance. Remember the altitude and the cold.
Yeah.
Everyone's
so
just
it's
like,
for warmth.
Yeah. Everyone's just like a little drunk mentally all the time, all day long.
Then because of the altitude.
And then because of the altitude.
Yeah.
So the altitude makes you feel like you're just a little bit drunk. So everything's like a little bit drunk, and then you actually are quite drunk from the alcohol.
Yeah, I've heard there's a copious amount of alcohol being consumed.
So much alcohol.
Yeah.
So you have to put all of that together. And then I was told the first time I went to Sundance, or I've been to different festivals, but Sundance in particular, like every grade you would give a movie, mark it down half because you're drunk. Yeah. That's what happens. You're drunk.
I don't know. Seeing movies drunk doesn't, especially like indie and art house stuff, does not make me like it more. Maybe I'm just a sad drunk, but I remember getting bombed and watching Pan's Labyrinth and being like, whoa, get it off the screen.
I did that decision.
I didn't know what I was going to watch.
What did you think you were watching?
I don't know. I spilled a beer into a lady's purse who was sitting in front of me. She walked out. I felt bad.
Getting stoned for Grave of Fireflies is a bad choice.
Yeah, well, there's certain movies that pair better with certain substances. Don't get hammered and watch Pan's Labyrinth is my suggestion.
I'm guessing this was not like a theater also where one would expect to have a beer spilled in one's purse.
No, I mean, it was college. It was like kind of an art house theater. I think they served beer, or at least didn't stop us from bringing some 30 racks into the Guillermo del Toro joint.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you want to be on a hallucinogen for anything del Toro.
Yeah,
and then
if I could do it all over again.
But not
you
for
just
that
did it
one.
wrong, which we don't condone here on
How
Fandom Entertainment.
is again 8-minute ovation. Sorry, I can't like. Clapping
It's
for
also-
30
you're in
seconds
this-
is a
you're in
long
this-
time.
You're in this
Yeah.
world, you're in this like weird bubble for a few days of like people who their entire life identity, who are lovely and wonderful people, by the way, but it's all about like, I love movies is like the whole story of you. And especially in that moment. And so it's like, no, I love them more. No, I love them more. I have the best taste because I can clap the longest and I love it the most.
Well, keep in mind also the filmmakers are all there.
Foot whiskey.
The foot whiskey. Getting drunk on feet. The filmmakers.
Smelling it, it does not smell bad.
You can dye Easter eggs with that.
It does not smell that bad.
The filmmakers are also all there. So it's literally like they're in the room, and it's very awkward if they're still standing there and you stop applauding. So I also think that they're going to applaud as long as Quentin Tarantino stands and waves. And
So someone standing and
With his
waving to
foot.
like keep it going. I get it. Like, do they think if they clap long enough, they'll play an encore, like deleted scenes?
If Taika's leading the wave, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so filmmakers there are premieres too, which leads to the like energized, more likely to be enthusiastic thing at a premiere. But I think at Sundance, it's also legitimately like the drive to predict first. I saw this movie at Sundance. I saw it first, and I made the call first that this is an amazing movie.
Right.
And I know that because I clapped the longest.
Well, and also at Sundance too, all of those films are for sale.
Yeah, they are.
So it's like, I'm sure that probably everyone
think
who's
they
involved.
plant?
I'm sure everyone who's involved with the movie that's also there is like, brilliant, incredible, amazing. I would buy that movie for $5 million or more, and I think the audience agrees with me, right? I think the audience says that Amazon would buy this movie for $5 million, right? Yeah, folks.
Yes.
So
Wait a
there's so
minute.
many things going into it, but yeah. Also, yeah, it is. I think it's also a European thing.
Yeah.
It's like I will. This art is worth 10 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
10 minutes of my time and my clapping is what this art is worth. And this is worth nothing.
Nothing.
This is worth nothing, and this is
Good
worth
day,
10 minutes. Now I will go to my hotel and sip on my wine, and we'll say hello to Martin Scorsese and Werner Herzog. This is what we do in France.
I was hoping you were going to say hello to your little friend.
Yes.
But you didn't. All right.
Yeah.
Foot wine.
But one. So anyway.
Like and subscribe us. Clap. Clap with your buttons. Clap for us with buttons. Tell us you love us with your buttons. Because Billy, there's great stuff on fandom.com, you guys. We got a review of the Joker coming later today. Honest trailer commentary. I always wonder why we bring that up. Because everyone's already watching that. Like, sure, watch it.
Watch commentaries.
Watch the commentaries because they're very, very funny and they're very
Commentaries is a good one
insightful.
this time. Yeah.
They're very funny. Do you want to give a little teaser of the best tidbit from the commentaries, or you want to make them watch it?
We broke Joe.
Yeah, Dan ranted a little. That was good.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. May I ask a question also? I love the days when I wasn't on the show on Wednesday, and I love the days when I can like retroactively go back and like through snippets of comments and social media try to figure out what happened on the show. Was there a fried chicken donut sandwich flying around the screen on Wednesday's show?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Sometimes that just happens.
JT board one of these, the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spice it up,
just,
like the Colonel's 12, 11. How many spices? original
Sometimes
spices does he
just
have?
doing the show good isn't enough.
Right.
And you gotta do the show weird.
It's just weird. It's especially when I'm on vacation and it's like I'm gone for a week and I just see these like little snippets of things. Like
That's how Woods
the whole
porn happened,
Spider-Man
yeah.
thing. Woods porn happened. I'm just like, I found porn in the woods too. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then it's like, because they'll tweet all of us. It's like, I'm so glad that Roth got Tom Holland signed up as Spider-Man. I'm like, what? And then yesterday I just kept seeing things just like that part where the donut chicken sandwich was on Butch's face was hilarious. Like, what the hell happened? Is this what it's like to watch the show?
I'm sad that was the meme that's taking hold and not Angela Lansbury taking a bath.
Yeah, that's frustrating, actually.
Wednesday.
A lot, man.
We're gone for one day.
We talked
Wait,
about.
wasn't I here? Or no,
That was Thursday.
yesterday.
All right.
No, we talked about there was some big updates in the chicken sandwich wars.
Okay.
That we covered, and then Spencer introduced us to a video where a very sensual Angela Lansbury takes a bath.
Yeah, it's called Positive Movements.
But what was that really? I don't, you know what?
The bath is not the place for that.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
She's old, Dan. It relaxes her.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens.
No mess.
It has nothing to do with age, Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
She has a little fish scooper right next to the bath.
Oh.
What?
The specificity really brought it home. That's all.
It's good to be prepared. That's all.
Good God. All right. So we have lots of good things for you to watch like that, apparently, which I myself might go back and watch later today.
Now this transition.
Wednesday's show. I know. Wednesday's show. Thank you, Spencer. Wednesday's show, Honest Trailer Commentaries. We are going to be in New York, and we always look forward to meeting you guys at the cons.
And we have that article with the link where you can sign up for more info on Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
That'll be in the description.
Yeah. We always love meeting you guys at these festivals and these events, and some people that we were able to meet at a couple of different cons over the last few years. They have an organization that you guys have been calling out, and it's really great for September, which is Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. And Dan, I know you've been doing a great job of kind of setting up this organization. So
thank you. Stack Up, which if you watch the show, you've heard this every day, which is good because we want to really signal boost everything that they're doing. But yeah, Stack Up is an organization that works with military veterans as they are coming home to help connect them with both other veterans and civilians who love video games and gaming, not just through playing the games themselves, but also through taking them to things like conventions. As we mentioned, we've met them the last couple of years at Comic-Con, which has been incredible. Just awesome to interact with them, to meet them, and it's not just us. Like they'll get into parties and panels and as much stuff, like the full Comic-Con experience. So it's not just gaming, although it is gaming focused. It's also about just really connecting with people, finding these experiences to help veterans as they're coming back from combat or active duty. It's mental health. It's kind of a holistic approach, really. It's a great organization, and they have one particular program that we've been talking about this week, which is the Stack Up Stop program, which is trained and certified specifically to assist in crisis intervention, suicide prevention, and issues concerning mental health. They provide peer-to-peer mental health support for veterans and civilians 24/7 through the Stack Up Discord server, which we were talking yesterday. That's such a great tool that so many gamers and other communities have built. Stack Up has a Discord server specifically for crisis intervention. You can find that address as well as more information about Stack Up down there in the comments below. I'm very happy that we can support their work.
Yes, so please do support their work, or if you need help, please do reach out. And I know we probably all have veterans in our lives, and they're great. We love meeting them at Comic-Con. These were really also just really nice guys. Anyway, in any event, please do support. Joe, you were going to say something?
Oh, I just there's something really not easy. I'm sorry, I'm always bad at putting words together for stuff like this, but like the Discord that they have, because so many folks get told no, get the runaround from Veterans Affairs and medical assistance and programs that were promised to them, or even from family, friends, and whatever. And there's something. There's just an ease of entry to just be able to get into a Discord with folks that are into the same things that you're into and just be able to talk about this stuff. So I just think that that's a really cool program. That's something Dave over at Stack Up has talked to me about a lot. That's why specifically we've been calling out the Stop program this week, because it's one that he's really passionate about, because there's just something about you open up a window and boom, there's people who have been exactly where you've been, know exactly where you're at, are into the same things that you're into or not. having never played Super Mario does not preclude you from, access to this stuff. But the idea is just these people that want you heard is really cool. And it's just, it's as simple as being able to like open up that Discord chat and just typing like, hey, I need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you always for supporting. More information in the description below, as we mentioned, and more of this to come over the next months and weeks. We'll be highlighting different organizations. Joe's doing great work doing research for those. So thank you guys for highlighting that. And thank you guys, as always, for being just like kind of a great supportive community. Should we talk about aliens?
We should. Let's talk about aliens.
Yeah. Okay. Them aliens. An update. This is via, quote, so many sources: CNBC, Facebook, CNN, BrooklynVegan.com. Wow.
BrooklynVegan.com.
Aliens meat.
Breaking it.
Officially my favorite website, Brooklyn Vegan.
What do you think the Impossible Burger is, man?
Oh no!
Hundreds of revelers are expected to descend upon a pair of tiny, dusty desert towns. We didn't write this. Outside Las Vegas this weekend. I wish we had too. This is basically, let's just set this up. All right, let's just go back in time. Let's go in the Wayback Machine.
Yep.
There was a Facebook post that basically was encouraging people to sign a petition to storm Area 51 to, quote, see them aliens because they can't stop all of us. Obviously, the post was a joke, but not everybody always gets a joke.
Or they got it.
Yeah, you know what? Yes.
And this was a yes and.
Yeah.
And so then they decided to like create like a couple of festivals to go to Area 51 to listen to music and, maybe see some aliens.
Yeah. Well, it's like it started as the let's all Nardo run. They can't kill us all.
Yeah.
And then the government had to finally officially respond to be like, we can actually. And we would have to. So please don't.
It's a bluff. I don't know. I think they're shaking. I think we got them.
You think that we got them back?
You don't think they're setting up those Weyland-Yutani movement detecting machine guns from aliens?
No. Well, I think if they were smart, they would just move the aliens out and then let people storm in and be like, see? Nothing.
Yeah.
And then
So
they're at Area 52. We'll storm then. We're storming you, Area 52.
Here's a very real question about aliens. But then I want to talk about Daniel Martinez, a collectible card stealer who the Associated Press found dancing in a makeshift festival grounds in Rachel Late Thursday. Said he knew the original Facebook was a gag, but he still wanted to come there. And he went to the Little Alien motel, which I've actually been to, and I'll tell you guys about it. And he says the event, he said, was, quote, a contagion, but in a good way. I just wanted to get to the fact that it was a contagion, but in a good way. But Spencer, I have a real question about aliens for you in Area 51.
Sure.
I mean, we've talked about Area 51 for so long.
Ever since the footage from Independence Day came out.
At least since 1999. And
6.
That's what I said. And but you would think if there were aliens there or anything to see, they would just like have moved it.
Right.
So why can't they move it, Spencer? Is it an underground village that can't be moved?
Well, yeah, you're raising some interesting points, Roth. Why can't they move the aliens? Well, what if the aliens were inside us all along? What if it's too late? What if they're among us?
Okay.
Are you going Thetans?
Yeah,
you mean like Thetans?
I'm going shapeshifters. Maybe Vuk.
Ooh.
maybe a Shi'ar or a Skrull. Take a choice. Yeah.
Or the Thing?
The Thing. Yeah. Look, I don't want to discourage people from this. I think that of course it's a joke, but at the core of it, there's something true: is that we can shape our own destiny.
And we can shape shift our own destiny.
There's people power that the people in power cannot hold things from us. If this is our country and our right to know if there are goddamn aliens in that bunker, and if there's enough of us, they can't kill us all. I'm going there. Spencer.
8-minute ovation.
Yes.
I appreciate the American, his spunk and his spirit going to see the aliens.
I think
Is he going to come back?
He just wanted to
I don't think
Spencer
wanted to go back
finish
to
the
his
show.
desk. He doesn't. Spencer, get back here.
He's got an honest trailer to finish.
Can't bring it to. So here's the other thing we should talk about. So in the midst of all this alien talk, Blink. Thank you.
You did. You found the last son of Krypton.
Blink 182 has something to say about this, you guys, as always. Blink 182 staged their own Storm Area 51-like event in Brooklyn. Oh, maybe that's why the Brooklyn Vegan was breaking this news. Blink 182 had their own thing in Brooklyn, and they were performing Enema of the State for Angela Lansbury in full with Lil Wayne in Brooklyn's Barclays Center. And apparently, Tom DeLonge gained a reputation as a believer in UFO, and he released some footage that the government confirmed was real of a UFO, and also said
that was this week.
He shouldn't have released it because it was classified. Can we take a look at that footage, please?
Yeah, we got some.
So when is this from?
We've just got some stuff. So it was, these are videos taken like by pilots, and if you watch the videos, like you can hear the VO of the pilots, and they're, for one thing, they all sound like middle school bros, which I was like, you guys shouldn't be flying. So they're all like, bro. Yeah, they all sound like they're about to go get their California burrito on, but they're all like, bro, I don't even know what it is, bro. But they are all like legitimately freaking out, like could it be this? And they're like, no, there's no way. Look at the tilt, dude. It's gnarly.
I love that you're making fun of these Navy pilots now, but we've been glorifying them for playing volleyball on the beach for decades. So now it's not okay. Do you want them to sound like airline pilots, or do you want them to strip to the waist and grease up and play volleyball?
That's
you
what
can't
I
have
want.
both.
I just canceled Miramar.
I want volleyball.
I do too.
Wait. Are we brushing over, with all this talk of volleyball, are we brushing over the fact that there's legit, should we talk about aliens for real?
There's so much happening that this was like a blip.
Yeah.
Alien life on Earth is a blip?
I mean, we've gone through the looking glass, a couple years ago. It was, sure, this is how it all ends. The simulation's breaking down.
I've seen a UFO.
Oh, that's
Go on.
I'm serious.
I want to hear more.
all right.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear about the hotel.
It was here. It was like maybe 5 years ago. I was at a party and somebody pointed up. It's like, what's that? And we looked, and it was an object, in the sky, which was small enough that it wasn't distinct. But we looked at it, and it was it moved, and the color changed, but it did not move in the direction of the size of an airplane, or it moved and had strobing, pulsating, multicolored lights, and we watched it for a few minutes.
In LA?
Yeah.
Where in LA?
I don't know. I think I was in Los Feliz or something, outside in the backyard.
At a party?
At a party, yeah.
Were there snacks at the party?
No, not the kind of snacks you're talking about. I don't partake anymore.
So you saw them aliens.
On a regular basis.
You saw them aliens.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but I'm saying that there was something up there that I don't know what it was, and I wasn't the only person to see it.
Maybe you've been tracked your whole life and they were checking in on you, because isn't that a thing that they do according to the moves about
According
the things?
to the movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we do with animals, they
Yeah, they
tag
keep
human
tabs.
beings.
Yeah.
You're tagged.
There's so many crazy things going on with the government. I have no doubt that they're flying things around that nobody knows about. I mean, I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat guy, but we don't want to. That's the thing about this whole storming Area 51. We don't want to know everything that the government is up to. I don't think it would make life better. I think it would make life infinitely worse and more stressful. And I can't take any more right now. Talk to me in about 10 years. Maybe I'll be in a better place.
I don't think that'll be possible.
By then, the aliens will see them humans at that point.
First of all, do you think any alien race would look at what we've been up to really just in the last 500 years and be like, yeah, we're gonna hang out here? If you can go anywhere in the world, there's got to be a Risa pleasure planet that they could visit instead of here.
No, I think that they probably.
They're not sending their best. They're not sending us the best aliens.
It's like what It's like what Stephen Hawking said this years ago, because we've been sending these pulses, right? Like communications, trying to find signs of life in space. And Stephen Hawking's like, what are you doing, dummy? Because if they can hear that and get to you, but you can't get to them, that means they're exponentially more advanced, technologically speaking. And if we look at our own species, when one group is exponentially more advanced technologically speaking, what do they do but come and take the resources from the other group?
This is a great book plug. It's called The ThreeBody Problem by the same guy who wrote The Wandering Earth. And it's about exactly this issue in extraterrestrial signaling, and how basically you've signed your own death warrant.
Yeah, basically.
If another race receives your signal.
Right, because they're more advanced, and what would they do? They would come, even if they were open-minded, like, let's go see what these assholes are about. To your point, Dan, they would come here, take a look at what these assholes are about, even if it took like 50 years to make an assessment, and they'd be like, you're not good custodians of this world.
It feels weird being on double, like knowing we're on extraterrestrial double secret probation. Like, we're on a thing.
I mean, we could be like a game preserve. For like, they just come down like Predator style.
Like Predator?
Like they know we're here. They know we're assholes. They come and hunt one once in a while. And then,
or a few, I don't know.
Yeah, and just let it be otherwise.
Or do you think they prank us like Firefest was like a prank? Like some rich alien was like, look what I did. And someone's like, man, you shouldn't do that with them. Like, they don't know any better. He's like, nah, look at these morons.
Yeah. But think about in reality, think about human beings and our treatment of animals. There's a lot of different perspectives on that. Like the Brooklyn vegan has a very strong perspective on that. And then my brother and his cookbook Bone has a different perspective on that. So it's just like aliens would probably be fighting amongst themselves about how best to kill us.
Yeah.
Or not.
Maybe that keeps them in gridlock.
Maybe.
Or we're just alone in the universe and this was like some, a North Korean drone or something like that.
Either way, not good.
Yeah, not good.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I would much rather take the vague prospect of aliens than the concrete knowledge of what exactly it is that I don't think we want to know. That was just a North Korean drone that escaped through the net that's supposed to protect our country. He could have nuked you at any time. I don't want to know that. I would much rather think that was an alien.
You'd much rather go the Tom DeLonge track.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I think what we've determined is that no matter what, Dan, they've tagged you.
I would like
to
I would like to applaud. I want to take a minute to applaud our fearless leader at the fact that she has fully admitted that she has spent a lot of time at Area 51 and then just skimmed by it. We just somehow got past it. Like she's seen them aliens and we didn't even talk about it. Like I just
You ever watch this show? Story 3. Variety. And the thing is, Story 3 is literally titled Story 3. There's no other title on it. Mark Paul Dan, prepare yourself for some pain. Mark Paul Gossier, who played Zach in Saved by the Bell series, says he was never approached to take part in the show's forthcoming TV sequel, which will reprise roles from Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley, respectively. Here's what Gossier, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Gosselaar. You're adding a syllable.
Zach said, I quote, I read it in the trades just like everybody else this morning. Honestly, I was never approached. I woke up to the news this morning and was like, huh? But this is why, is that he's on a show on ABC. And so he even understood that. He said, I'm on ABC, so it doesn't really fit into that considering Disney Plus, because obviously Disney owns ABC. So I understand the business side of things, but I had no idea it was this far along. So he can't do it because he's already on a show for a different network. Yeah, and the network is owned by Disney, and this is a streaming service that is a universal streaming service. So, like, there's just no way he could
There's got to be some kind of, like, behind-the-scenes deal, though, where, like, I don't know what the tone of the show Mixed Dish is, if, like, you can have someone just mysteriously assassinated on that show, and it fits the tone of that very fun comedy starring Tracee Ellis Ross, one of our most underrated actresses of all time. But I feel like there's got to be some backroom deal where they're like, kill off Gosler's character, and we'll give you this. Because you can't do a Saved by the Bell sequel without Gosler.
Call him? You don't even call Zach
Right, that's insane.
This is not Mr. Tuttle. This is not Stacey Carosi. This is not Violet.
This isn't even Miss Bliss.
No, this is Zach Morris. You don't reboot Saved by the Bell.
He's the governor.
And not even call Zach Morris. That's like, this is insane.
Isn't the premise
insanity.
of,
on a giant phone?
And then announce that he's the whole premise of the movie. of the show. No.
But then he's also kind of a jerk. Because
Yes.
isn't he he's a governor who shut down low-income schools?
Yeah, I guess maybe maybe like he passed or whatever. Maybe his agent passed for him, so they're making him out to be like the worst governor in the world off camera. Like,
boo!
Yeah.
Boo this show. Because now I realize if you don't have the respect to call Zach Morris, then you don't have respect for Saved by the Bell.
He's standing by his giant phone waiting
is
for
the cynical, cash grab, cheap ploy that I feared it would be. Because if you had respect for the show and the fans of the show, then you would have called Zach Morris and at least offered him the role of Zach Morris.
The governor.
The governor of California, who shuts down low-income schools
Still very.
in a show that's about, like, saving a duck from an oil spill behind the school. This is ridiculous.
I agree. I could not be more in agreement with you. However, what they are also rebooting is Battlestar Galactica, which at first you would also be upset and think naturally, like, this is a bastardization of the genius of the other reboot that Ron Moore and David Icke brought us. And you'd be right, Spencer.
yeah, seasons 1 through 4. Yeah,
seasons 1 through 4 specifically. But, and this is controversial, let me propose something. They're also rebooting Punky Brewster. Is there a world in which Punky Brewster is a Cylon that infiltrates Bayside?
you're thinking of Small Wonder.
No, I'm not.
I know.
Yeah.
Good joke, because she's a robot.
She was a robot. But two, Sam Esmail, who did Mr. Robot and Homecoming, who I know, like, after season 1 of Mr. Robot, it was not as good.
Season 3 got better.
So what do you, like, Sam Esmail and BSG?
Yeah,
But
why not?
didn't he say it wasn't going to be a reboot?
Yeah, he has said
It's in
It's
continuity.
like, it's in continuity. It's like a different
but its own
group.
thing.
It's a different group of survivors, I think.
No.
No?
Not
It's
happening.
No, I
that's
don't
not
want it.
happening.
No,
You don't want it?
No,
Is one of them the governor?
it's over. Look at a different group
What-
of survivors.
what-
The
Slow
whole
down,
Ferris
premise
Bueller.
of the last show.
Wait,
It's over.
wait.
Go home.
What if one of those survivors was Zach Morris?
Worse. The whole premise of the last show was that there's one group of last
Yeah,
hardy
the
band
old
of survivors.
bucket of bolts,
and
yeah.
if now the whole time it's like, oh, and this other group, then you just deballed the entire last show. No.
If
Stop
they call it Fear the Battlestar Galactica,
Are we
I will watch it.
okay.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I just want more BSG.
Yeah, that's
understand.
actually troubling that it's like same timeline, different group of people.
Maybe we don't understand what
It's
it is
very
yet.
we don't understand it. I just like him as a creator, and like we're right on the razor's edge of like 10 years, probably too soon to reboot something. Like maybe we can make it 12 and I'd be more comfortable, but this probably won't see the light of day till 2021, 2022,
Yeah.
2022.
And it's not like there's going to be like a different Starbuck or anything.
No, so they won't trot on that, but yeah, they might blow up the premise because you're right. It's such a good pilot.
Yeah. The second episode is the episode that's so amazing, 33.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh my
episode.
God. Okay, so the premise of 33, I did this to Caleb for the 7th time in our relationship the other day, where I just literally, I traced the whole plot of Battlestar Galactica, and then I picked specific episodes to describe it. And one of them is 33.
He's a keeper.
So the idea of, I know, and then he's like, he does this, he goes, wow, yeah, oh, amazing. like he's never heard it before, and he's so impressed.
Who here has seen the Battlestar Galactica episode 33?
It's amazing. So they're getting attacked.
Wow.
They're the scrappy. Should I?
That's
not-
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We've all seen it.
I'm telling them.
Oh, okay.
Them. That's out there.
camera.
We're not live anymore. We're in an Area
We just-
51 bunker. They tractor beamed us in a while
I
ago.
thought you were trying to tell
That
us what
is
it was.
the-
and I was like,
no,
but we know what
I'm
it
telling
is.
them.
Okay,
I'm
tell
telling them.
please
So,
by all means
so
tell them.
33. The premise of 33. First of all, that's the first episode of Twilight Zone ever. Is that he's in a simulation. Because we're all in a simulation. So 33,
Plato
the premise
wrote about it,
is
too.
that they're trying to escape the Cylons, and they keep getting attacked every 33 seconds, and they have to try and figure out how the Cylons are 33 minutes. And
They're not feral hogs.
and they have to try, in those 33 minutes, they have to try and figure out how the Cylons are fuck you! The other amazing episode that we should mention is called Unfinished Business. And this is one of the greatest scenes about a a relationship that I've ever seen on a show, because they've earned so much about the relationship between Starbuck and Apollo to that point, and they have all of this baggage, right? All of this emotional weight, but there's stuff you haven't seen, and you don't know how they got here, but they're in a boxing ring. They are just beating the crap out of each other because of love. So I'd like to see more BSG, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, you should be.
Moving on.
How should we wrap up this show? Should we do one fan question?
Yeah, sure.
And call it a day?
Yeah. Happy Friday.
I feel like you were judging my 33 description. I said seconds instead of minutes, but it's only because I don't know words.
I wasn't judging anything. I was sitting here.
We only correct so that they don't yell about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it
I
first.
appreciate that.
I want them to focus on the boxing out of love,
feet?
not the sex.
No, thank you. I've had feet for breakfast.
Can I check the alcohol content on that? No? Okay.
Fan question. This is, I'm good.
Nope.
This is the last time anybody will ever ask me for me back on this show.
Not true.
Incorrect.
Not true.
Ben Zayton says, since Downton Abbey is coming out this week, which actors do you think did a fine accent work in movies and TV, and which were questionable? Bonus round. Name your favorite accent.
Just in general?
No, I think so.
I think this is ironic because no one on Downton Abbey is doing accent.
Like, they're all British.
Yeah, they're all actually British.
Is there one?
Sure, there's probably some, maybe an Englishman
like,
doing a Scottish
The first thing I thought of, besides, of course, Doctor Strange, is the first time I ever saw Black Hawk Down, slowly realizing that all of these Texans were British, like, actually made me angry. Because I was just like, man, they sure cast a bunch of good old Dallas boys. And it's like, nope, that man is Welsh. That man is Irish. But then suddenly, everyone's doing fantastic, just, I'm a Texas Ranger accent in that movie. And then it's one of Orlando Bloom's first movies. And Orlando Bloom comes out doing his best, and Ewan McGregor's doing a pretty solid Southern accent talking to him. And he, like, hey, why'd you sign up, boy? And he's like, because I'm here to kick some ass. And like full Legolas. And you're like, whoa, oh, he's trying. That's the first one I always think of, outside of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I mean, the Downton Abbey thing threw me because, like, doesn't Lady Crawley have a weird accent? But then she's American.
Yes.
So it's like that weird mid-Atlantic thing that I don't like, but is actually accurate. So good for her. I think I'll stay on the Doctor Strange theme. We all know he sounds like kind of a American. Is like being John Malkoviching a British guy.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to
Hello,
describe it.
I am a doctor in New York. But I'll highlight his lesser-known accent work in August Osage County.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Benedict. Fantastic actor. Great voice, great accent.
Yeah.
Like, stick with what they gave you. He's doing a
Check
deep
what your mama
South.
gave you.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Deep.
bad.
Yeah. Pour some honey butter on that biscuit, Southern accent, and it
Full Cracker Barrel.
Woo!
I will see your August Osage County, and I will raise you a black mass.
Oh!
He's doing full bastard. Well, I don't know what's going on here, but I think that maybe you should not do that. It's like, stop. You're wonderful. You're Benedict. You're wonderful. We love you just like you are. Just don't
like
do it.
RFK just got his wisdom teeth out.
It was like, oh my God. Ooh. It was just, and it was at the height of the the Cumber Blitz. What do you call it?
It's called the Cumber Blitz now.
Yikes.
Yeah.
No good. But good ones. Kate Winslet is a master of particularly the American accent.
Yes.
She does spectacular accent work. I love Christoph Waltz in Django Unchained. I love the Dr. King Schultz. It's just that it has the clipped version of the Doctor Strange thing, but not like the forced, because he doesn't have a British accent, first of all. He has a kind of a very
Austrian-y.
vaguely European,
Yeah.
but I just like he talks in a very clipped manner. Just if I were to, because you can feel the Germanic kind of comes because he's King Schultz. It sort of has that. He just is able to do a very good kind of approximation of like maybe a first generation immigrant, but also so maintaining a little bit of the origin, but also a very kind of like very American. It's a very complex. I think it's way more of a complex accent than people might say. Well, that's just how he talks. I just love how he does. And then Inglourious Bastards, obviously, just the fluidity that he slips in and out of so many languages. But this accent work, I love Christoph Waltz. I just like his voice.
Yeah,
I like the way he speaks. I like the way he chooses to his diction is very. It's my ASMR. It's very appealing to me.
You should tell him that if you ever interview him, and tell me how he responds, because he does not like being interviewed. So Elizabeth Moss, who's unquestionably one of our finer actors, is in a show called Top of the Lake to ya, and she plays a New Zealander, a Kiwi, if you will, and it is so bad. It's like, I'd like what, please? It's so bad that they had to change plot. Like, they made her character born in New Zealand, but to an American dad, and then moved to Australia for 10 years in order to justify what the shit she's doing with that voice, because it is so bad. And she still manages to be amazing in the role, but whew.
There's something I've always wondered, and maybe if there's somebody watching who is either watching from South Africa or is of South African descent, or knows the dialect well enough.
I'll get Diane word on the line.
I've yet to figure out if DiCaprio's South African accent in Blood Diamond is brilliant or terrible, because he commits so hard to it. Like, to my untrained ear, it sounds really good, but I wonder if it's like just that good, like impeccably flawless, or if it's just horrifically bad, and like Benedict Cumberbatch doing the Southern thing in August Osage County, just like, because I grew up in the South, like, ooh, what is that? Oh my God, no one speaks like that.
You know what's really hard about that one too is the Southern accent is so weird and all over the place. Like, there are a lot of actors who you might be like, they sound like a clown, and I'm kind of like, no, that tracks.
Yeah.
That's how bad that Osage August County one is I'm like, oof, no, what are you doing? And you can really butcher a Southern accent and still sound like 4 or 5 people I know. Idris Elba has a great story on his Hot Ones episode where he did his best to pretend he was from New York so that they would cast him in The Wire.
Yeah, I was going to say Idris Elba and
from the East Coast. So
and Dominic West, both in The Wire, like when they were, the first time I saw them interviewed, and was like, oh, British! That was my reaction.
Please tell me that's literally what you said.
Oh, British! I see that anytime I see a British person, I get real excited.
But it's a great story, like the casting agent.
There's so many actors, though, that people do have that response to.
Yeah.
We just assume that they're American, because most British actors are fairly good at the American accent. The reverse is not so much true.
Yes, which is frustrating and unfair.
Christian Bale, the first time I saw an interview with him, because he would be in character so much, even that I'd see interviews with him and he'd be talking like Bruce Wayne. The first time I saw an interview with him, I was just like,
you hadn't seen Empire of the Sun?
I didn't connect it.
Is it Empire of the Sun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't connect. I thought he was like doing a British, like I didn't realize that he was doing a British accent. I could actually do a much better one, but that's just me doing a bad. That's me doing Benedict Cumberbatch version of my British accent. I didn't. He'd done so many roles like that. I'd seen him like where he didn't have an accent, that it just sort of like inceptioned into my head that he was American doing a British accent and not
British doing American accents. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to bring this train gently into the station and say...
You pulled it off.
We did it. We made a show. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
We hope you're having a great Friday or a Saturday or Monday or Tuesday, whenever you're watching the show. We hope that you enjoy your life and our shenanigans, and that if and when the aliens or enemies of the state or the state itself come to attack, that you're with someone you love.
Aww.
Yeah.